This is the PET SPECT DTI Gallery. PET scans are positron emission tomography scans. These scans use photon-emitting radionucleotides for emissions of positrons that are then picked up by the receiver. The PET scan is used to examine brain function rather than brain anatomy. Here's an image of the brain using PET technology. The anatomy is quite blurry and not of the resolution required for surgical planning. The scan is color-coded, with red being very active brain and blue being inactive brain, following the colors of the rainbow. The most activity is colored white. Here's a grouping of images concerning Parkinsonism. The two scans on top are of a normal person doing a simple task. The middle two images show a person with Parkinsonism attempting to do the same task. There is a decrease in the amount of dopamine being released from the basal ganglia. The bottom two images are of the same Parkinsonism person who is now taking L-DOPA treatment for the tremors. The dopamine levels in the basal ganglia have improved significantly, but are not quite up to the level of the normal person. This next image is a SPECT image. SPECT is a single photon emission computed tomography. It also uses a radioactive positron emitter to register functional changes in the brain. This image shows a normal SPECT scan, a scan of a person with mild cognitive impairment or early Alzheimer's, and the third shows a scan from a person with Alzheimer's disease. You can see progressive ventricular enlargement and the dropping out of function in the cortical areas. The cortex is turning bluer. SPECT is often useful in identifying a seizure focus. Here is an image of the MRI of the patient, the SPECT scan of the patient during a seizure, and the MRI SPECT fusion with the SPECT scan overlying the MRI scan for a more accurate location of the seizure focus. The SPECT scan is often imaged in a 3D fashion, where quiet areas drop out of the image, leaving holes in the image. Here is a 3D image of someone with Alzheimer's disease, where you can see the dropout of cell activity in numerous areas. DTI is diffusion tensor imaging. This type of imaging examines the white matter tracts of the brain and produces quite a different image compared to PET and SPECT. Here's an image of the white matter tracts seen through the sagittal section. You can see the fibers leaving the cortical areas and passing down into the brainstem. This type of imaging is helpful in surgical planning to attempt not to disrupt the pathways near the area of surgical interest. Much like PET and SPECT, using the DTI as an overlay to the MRI is quite helpful in better localizing the changes. Here is a DTI overlaying an MRI and sliced in the same axial plane as the MRI, showing the major trackways in the area. The complete DTI is seen in Part B and shows too much information to be useful. This is the end of the PET, SPECT, and DTI gallery.